Hey guys, LazyMan here. The lights for the Fortress build came in, so I decided to go ahead and get those installed and completely finish this build, and this way I can get it off to the client. So anyway, we decided instead of running cold cathodes that we would run actually white LED strips. And I suggested that we actually use two different types. The first one being, your standard LED strip with the LED in the center, and the other one is a side emitting strip. And what that does is actually gives you more flexibility because you can direct the light where you want it to go, and it works out really nice. So anyway, these are easy to install. They're very inexpensive, and I think now they are my preference over cold cathodes. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at them. Alright guys, the first thing I wanted to show you was that this case did come with 3 switches here, and those were actually there to control the 380mm fans at the bottom. So anyway, as you guys know, I went ahead and ran those to the fan controller, so I went ahead and utilized these 3 switches to control the lights. So anyway, this was nice. It was actually able to create 3 different light zones. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. You guys let me know what you think. Alright, the first switch here actually controls LEDs that I have mounted behind the CPU cooler here, and they'll actually illuminate the CPU area. So let's go ahead and turn that on. Then the second switch actually controls LEDs that I ran along the top that'll actually shine light down. I'll turn that one on. And then the third switch actually controls LEDs that I have mounted in the 5 1/4 bay, and it'll shine light across the motherboard. So anyway, you could leave all 3 on, or maybe just have a zone on. You could have just that on. I prefer just those 2 there, and then with those 2 off, and then this one on, it kind of just lights up that one side of the computer. I'm not too fond of that look myself. Kind of liking this one here, and maybe even that there. That's with the first and third switch on. But I kind of like those 2 there, the first 2 switches. So anyway, the client can mess around with that. This third one here is a little bright, and I've spoke to him about that, and that's a simple fix. I mean, it's an LED strip. It can be cut every 3rd LED. I have 9 LEDs running down the side here. So we can actually reduce the illumination by maybe cutting off 3 of the LEDs. And that might make that a little more subtle. So it's a little too bright for that 3rd one. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the back, and I'll show you how I wired this. Okay, the first thing I actually did was bring a separate power connector in from the PSU, route that up to the top here, and then actually ran that to the 3 switches. And then coming out of the 3 switches are these cables here that I ran to a terminal block. And then coming out of the terminal block, for instance, these 2 here, which are the ones, the lights on the top and the one in the 5 1/4 bay, they actually run across the top and then go through a small hole up here. And then for the 3rd one that's behind the CPU, it's this first channel here. They come down, run through here, and goes behind the CPU. So anyway, I went ahead and color coded these so the client would know which one's the positive and which one's the negative. So it turned out pretty good, and there's actually enough room in the back of the case to actually put that terminal block, and it worked out nicely. I could have ran separate plugs for each one, fan connectors or Molex connectors, but I think using a terminal bus actually works out much better. Alright guys, there's one more thing that I need your feedback on. And we were debating to put the RAM cooler here, but we were a little concerned that it may obstruct some of the airflow going to the CPU cooler. But I went ahead and installed it and ran some temp tests, and I only noticed about a 1 degree difference. So I don't think it's going to be a problem installing it. Now we're just debating whether we install the standard RAM cooler, or actually, I went ahead and pulled mine out, which has that I actually taken out these stock fans and replaced them with red LED fans. So you guys let us know, do we run it without any RAM cooler? Do we put in the stock RAM cooler? or do we use the RAM cooler with red LED lights in it? Alright, so you guys let us know and I'd appreciate it. Alright, that's going to wrap up this Fortress build, and I'm going to go ahead and package this up and get it off to the client. So anyway, you guys have a good evening, and we'll be talking to you later.